Good afternoon, everybody. Praise be to the Lord. Welcome back. We're going to finish today with our class of spelling. Grammar. We're going to finish today with grammar, people. So we are continue with the topic of adverbs. Okay, just to remember for you, uh, the quiz of grammar and for spelling is going to be the next Monday. Okay. You already have the topics in the syllable you're going to study. It will be online, just to remember that. Okay, and you have to enter also to Imagine Learning Lab or the English Lab and do the assignments I already make for all the week. Okay, at the end of the class, I will check who entered, who didn't enter to the class, right? Okay, let's continue with our topic. We are going to watch a video. Oops. We're going to watch a video about the different. Can you see the screen? Yep. About the topic. The topic of today continues the adverbs, but we're going to continue with the adverbs of frequency. Okay. We already know which adverbs of frequency do we have, but right now we're going to see a video that will explain or talk about that topic of adverbs of frequency.
Always, usually, normally, generally, often, frequently, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, hardly ever, rarely, never. These are all adverbs and they describe how frequently we do an activity or the frequency of habits. These are called adverbs of frequency, or more specifically, adverbs of indefinite frequency. The percentages that appear on the left are only approximate numbers to give you a general idea of the frequency associated with each adverb. When something happens 100% of the time, we use the adverb always. For example, I always brush my teeth at night. This means that without exception, 100% of the time, I will brush my teeth at night before going to bed. What is the opposite of always? Never, which is 0% of the time. For example, vegetarians never eat meat. This means there is a 0% possibility of this happening. The frequency is 0. What adverb do we use when something happens half the time and the other half of the time it doesn't happen? When something has about a 50% frequency of happening, we use the adverb sometimes. For example, I sometimes sing in the shower. This means half the time I'm in the shower, I sing, and half the time I don't sing. I sometimes sing in the shower. What can we use if we almost never do something? It's not 0%, but maybe 5% possibility of it happening. In this case, we use the adverbs hardly ever or rarely. For example, I hardly ever get angry. Or you can say, I rarely get angry. They both mean the same thing. This means there is a very small chance of it happening, but it is almost never. I hardly ever get angry. It usually only happens if you steal my chocolate from the fridge? Other than that, nothing else annoys me. Let's quickly look at the other adverbs of frequency. Usually is when something happens around 90% of the time. It is almost always. For example, I usually walk to work. Yes, I live close to my place of work, so I usually walk there. Normally or generally happens around 80% of the time. For example, I normally get good marks. Yes, about 80% of the time my marks are good. The rest of the time they're excellent. When something has a frequency of about 70%, we use the adverbs often or frequently. Often can be pronounced two ways, by pronouncing the T, often, or by not pronouncing the T, often. Both forms are correct and depend on where you live. The example of these adverbs is, I often read in bed at night, which is the same as saying, I frequently read in bed at night. The adverb often is more common than using the word frequently. The adverb occasionally is at about 30%. For example, I occasionally go to bed late. Yes, usually on Friday and Saturday night. I occasionally go to bed late. And the adverb seldom is at about 10% frequency. For example, I seldom add salt to my food, which means it is not common or not often that I add salt. The adverbs seldom, hardly ever, rarely, and never all have a negative meaning.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris Americos, and I want to invite you to an exclusive free seminar with me this
Let's look at word order when we use adverbs of frequency. In general, the adverb of frequency goes before the main verb. The order is subject plus adverb plus main verb. Let's look at this sentence. I read in bed at night. If I want to let you know about the frequency I do this, the frequency that I read in bed, then I need to use an adverb. The main verb is read. So we put the adverb before the verb read. I often read in bed at night. Another example. Daniel always passes his exams. The main verb is passes. So we put the adverb before it. Daniel always passes his exams. They never speak Spanish in class. The main verb is speak, so the adverb of frequency goes before it. They never speak Spanish in class. When there is an auxiliary verb such as has, have, must, might, will, can, should, would, etc., followed by a main verb, then the adverb goes between them both. Subject plus auxiliary verb plus adverb plus main verb. For example, I have done my homework. Have is the auxiliary verb and done is the main verb. So we put the adverb of frequency in the middle. I have always done my homework. You can see it is the same rule as before. The adverb goes before the main verb. Just remember to put it after the auxiliary verb. Another example. Susan has always lived in New York. Has is the auxiliary verb and lived is the main verb. So we put the adverb of frequency in the middle. Susan has always lived in New York. I have never eaten dog food. The adverb never goes between the auxiliary verb have and the main verb eaten. I have never eaten dog food that I know of.
Hi there, my name's Chris Americos, and I've been teaching English for the last 11 years. And right now,
of course, in English, there's always an exception, and this happens with the verb to be. When we want to use an adverb with the verb to be, then the order is subject plus to be plus adverb. For example, I'm busy at work. Am is the form or conjugation of the verb to be, so we put the adverb after it. I am normally busy at work. We cannot say, I normally am busy at work. No, this is not correct. He is always happy. Again, the adverb is after the form of to be. He is always happy. They are sometimes late. The adverb sometimes comes after the verb are, which is a form of to be. They are sometimes late. We have just seen the common position of adverbs of frequency within a sentence. But it is also possible to put some adverbs at the beginning of a sentence. These adverbs include usually, normally, frequently, generally, occasionally, and sometimes. Look at these examples. Occasionally, I have pancakes for breakfast. Or you can put the adverb between the subject and the main verb. I occasionally have pancakes for breakfast. Both sentences are correct. Normally, our English class is in the morning. Sometimes they take a bus to work. But be careful with always, hardly ever, seldom, rarely, and never. Do not put them at the beginning of the sentence. No. Always, I get up early is not correct. No. We need to put always before the main verb. I always get up early. That is correct. The exception to this is when we're using always or never in the imperative to give orders or instructions. We will see more about this in another video. I hope you found this video useful. You might want to watch our other video about adverbs of definite frequency. These are a little different. Have an awesome day.
Okay, people, I hope you understand and watch the video. And we're going to talk about the adverbs or the frequency adverbs. We already know all the frequency adverbs that exist. We have always, we have usually, sometimes, and all of that. Okay? Some of people don't use all of them. Just use some of them. Like usually, always, sometimes, and never. Okay? Now, let's see. To continue with the topic, we have our frequency adverbs, and we have our frequency of intensity. An adverb of frequency tells how often something happens. An adverb of intensity give information about how much. Adverbs of intensity can describe a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. We already know that. This is the table we have to manage. This is the table we have to understand. And the table we have to know very quickly. For example, 100% we're going to use always because it's always. Of course, valga la redundancia, how do you say it in Spanish? Always, it's 100%. For example, she always goes to the nightclub to dance. What is the meaning? What is the way to understand this sentence? She always go. She never miss a day or a weekend to go and dance in the nightclub. Usually, 90%, they usually quarrel. Maybe in 1 week, 6 days of the week, they quarrel, and only on Sunday they rest. The 80% normally, I normally go to the gym. Maybe he goes to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday, and maybe Saturday or Sunday, maybe. Tuesday, Thursday, or maybe Saturday or Sunday, he or she rests. 70% often. They often go out for dinner. What is the meaning of this one? Maybe 2 or 3 times a week they go to dinner. 50% sometimes. I sometimes go with my husband. Where? We don't know, and we don't care. But sometimes he go with his husband, maybe to the movies, maybe to the theater, maybe to the dentist, or maybe to the pool. I don't know. But only 50% sometimes. 30% occasionally. I occasionally eat junk food. For example, let's see. How many of you eat junk food? But for example, do you eat during this pandemic? We already have almost 5 months. During all this pandemic, have you eat junk food? Junk food is comida chatarra o comida basura, como le dicen. Hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, churritos, snacks, fried chicken, all of that in restaurants like Burger King, Bigos, Wendy's, las alitas del alemán, all of that. Aha, but my question is, all of us, including me, have been eating junk food, right? Always? The 7 days of the week? Yes, this is Valenzuela. Valenzuela say yes. Valenzuela, where are you? Camera's on. He always eat junk food. He's only eat hot dogs, pizzas, and hamburgers. Matute also eat junk food. All days. The 7 days of the week. I don't think so. I don't believe it. Dana said yes. She eats junk food. fried potatoes. They never eat vegetables, meat, or okay. For example, which one of us have been eating junk food maybe between 2 or 6 times during the whole pandemic? I I only eat I only have been eating junk food maybe 5 times during all the pandemic. Only one time per month, I think. No, I'm not talking about in the school. I'm talking about right now in the pandemic. In the pandemic. Valeria, Fatima, and I eat the same old days in the school, doraditas moradas. El Chinese rice count. Mm, could be count. I only ate alitas from the from Alemán. Qué bárbaro este José Valenzuela. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think every day you eat Chinese rice. I don't think so. Let's continue, people. Let's continue. Okay. 10%. Seldom. Seldom. I seldom read the newspaper. Well, actually, I'm seldom read the newspaper. Why? Because we use technological system. We have the apps of El Heraldo, La Tribuna, Diario Tiempo, and all of that. So I read the news in here. Okay. 5%, hardly ever. I hardly ever drink alcohol. Not you. It's from adult people, okay? 5%, I hardly ever drink alcohol. And never. And yeah, it's sure. Yeah, suspicious, but get a cuánto. 0%, never. I never go to the cinema. I don't like it. Nah, maybe I just I just go to the cinema maybe 2 or 3 times a year. If the movie is good, right? If the movie is it's a really good movie, right? Maybe 2 or 3 times a week, right? I have to ask you something. Permita, wait. Okay, so we know how to use the frequency adverbs, but now to continue, these ones you see on the screen are the adverbs of intensity, are different at the adverb are different of the frequency adverbs. They are adverbs, the adverbs of intensity, they are adverbs that modify adjectives or other adverbs. They normally go before the adjective or adverb with the modifier. We have 3 categories. The number 1 is strong, the second one is medium, and the last one is weak. With the strong, we have extremely, completely, totally, absolutely, really, and very. Medium, we have rather, pretty, quiet, and fairly. And weak, or devil, we have slightly, a bit, not at all. These words is using more like linking words. In other ways, we know it as a transition words because are connectors, actually. Most of them are connectors. So, so do you have any question right now? No. Okay. So, let's go to the page number 236. Let's go to the page number 236. And who is missing? Well, if you have your camera off, it's missing for me. Grammar. Okay, let's see who's missing. I have 23 students, so only one missing. Dylan. Okay. Okay, let's go to the page number 236. The page number 236 said, okay, we already know the meaning. We have 10 minutes left. Yes. Okay. Let's go to the part, the practice part. Underline the adverb in each sentence. Write whether the verb tells how often or how much. 5 minutes to do it. Go and do it. Quickly. Quickly. I'm hungry. Come on, people. Work. Work. Page 236, I said. Efinos. What is Efinos? I don't know what is Efinos. Someone of you write Efinos or Ifinos. I don't know. Finits. Come on, people, if you're going to write well. Finits. Finis. I finish. Okay, Let's go. Let's continue. Let's continue. I finish. Okay, Karim. Very good, Karim. The H is mute. La H is mute, okay? No sirve mola. Are you talking in Portuguese? I don't know. No sirve mola. Okay, everybody. Okay, we have 5 minutes. Let's see. Let's see. Underline the adverb in each sentence. Write whether the adverb tells how often or how much. Okay. Number 1. Fatima, read it. Fatima. Well. Jose Valenzuela, read it. Now I can hear you. Your mic. Uh-huh.
I could barely believe he had won the science prize.
Uh-huh. What is the adverb?
Cool.
No. The adverb is barely. And this is talking about how much or how often?
How much?
How much? Very good. But the adverb is barely. Okay, Catherine, number 2.
He had never achieved such an honor before.
Uh-huh.
Never.
Uh-huh. Never is the adverb. So how much or how often?
How often?
Very good. How often? Roland, number 3.
She thought about how sometimes hard work paid off.
What is the adverb?
Sometimes.
Uh-huh. And this, how much or how often?
How much?
No, how often? Fatima, number 4.
She had just about given up on her invention at one point.
Uh-huh. What is the adverb? What is the adverb of number 4?
Had.
No, it's just. And that is talking about how much or how often.
How often?
No, how much. Number 5, Diego Guardiola. can listen you. No, can listen you.
She was completely out of new ideas. How much? And this completely.
Very good. Excellent. Let's see. Andrea, number 6.
Sam was very encouraging told. Very.
How much or how often?
How often?
No. How much? Okay. Number 7, Jose Manuel.
He wants her to win the prize almost as much as she wants to win it. The adverb is want and
No.
is how much.
No. The adverb is almost and is how much. And the last one, I will say it. Katie will always remember